This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I have a lot of students, for example, that want to talk a lot about how politics is more nasty than it ever was before, and I always remind them that, like, in the 1800s, we had senators beating each other with canes on the Senate floor, right? So, like, a lot of this is just, like, politics as usual.
The targets of comedians may have changed, but they're still pushing the limits on what's acceptable on the air. Tonight, we'll get perspective on censorship from Dick Smothers. His show with his brother back in the 1960s was frequently the subject of controversy, but what does he think about the backlash to current comedians? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Conan. Welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on what you can't say on TV coming up. But first, our top 7 stories at 7. And we begin tonight with the wet weather that caused some damage and a lot of frayed nerves. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan has the latest on how much longer it will last. Bob.
Well, I'll tell you, we see some light rain showers right now moving through the Suncoast. They're scattered about, nothing like the heavy weather we saw earlier this morning. We had wind gusts, get this, up to nearly 70 miles an hour in Sarasota Bay, associated with that line that is now down to our south, causing all sorts of flooding problems in Miami, up to Fort Lauderdale, and all the way to West Palm Beach. They've had up to 15 inches of rain just to the southeast of Naples over the past couple of days there. Now, that not as much here, but still, showers were strong at one point. Now you can see they're scattered about, still developing though in the Gulf and moving on shore. So look for sporadic shower activity through this evening, and then a little bit more concentrated again tomorrow. The light rain now in downtown Sarasota just moved through Lakewood Ranch, another one developing offshore. Here's a look at some estimates. Now, the estimates not always as accurate as the actual rain buckets there, and we had at the airport nearly an inch, and so this is indicating a half inch around there. We had a little bit more though, actual rainfall, but over 2 inches at Osprey, 2 inches near Venice and Northport, and around Port Charlotte about 2.5 inches, and just to the north of Arcadia 3.5 inches. All told, over the past 3 days, nearly 7 inches of rain in some isolated areas, but the heavy rain and heavy weather we saw earlier has now since moved on to the south and east. It could be back a little bit tomorrow afternoon. We could see some stronger cells as yet another piece of energy and a little frontal boundary works its way in our direction beginning tomorrow. So maybe a few more areas of sunshine tomorrow that will allow some heating to take place, which could actually cause the storms to be a little bit stronger through our area tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Alan?
Thanks a lot, Bob. The severe weather is causing damage across the Suncoast, including on Longboat Key. The storm that moved through late this morning knocked down trees and branches near the Longboat Key Club. Strong winds and rain also tore off a section of the roof at the club, which caused water to leak inside. The police chief says most of the damage appears to be cosmetic and should be repaired quickly.
We had a small tornado where there were straight line winds, but the winds were of enough force to knock down a lot of trees and to blow off a section of the roof at the Longboat Key Club.
Chief Cummings says there are trees down across the island and some minor flooding on the north end of the island. Venice's community center is closed after a lightning strike caused significant damage to the building. Yesterday, the lightning struck 2 trees near a metal pipe which feeds to the center's fire suppression system. The pipe burst and the center also lost electricity and phone service. An assessment of the damage is set to get underway. Venice's South Jetty remains closed today and will because of the severe weather. Hurricane season is here and you're properly insured. Unfortunately, some homeowners can't get insurance even if they want to. Those living in mobile homes and houses built before 2003. New building codes have gone into effect requiring more hurricane-resistant construction. One local insurance company says mobile homeowners historically make the most claims and homeowners pay highest premiums if their house isn't up to code.
$1,500 to a newly constructed home with all the wind mitigation, to tens of thousands of dollars to a large, maybe not an older home that does not have all the wind protection.
One of the only local companies willing to insure mobile homes is Citizens Property Insurance because its coverage is through the state. Happening tonight, Venice residents are meeting to discuss the city's comprehensive plan. The city updates the plan every 10 years, particularly to define how much growth to allow within the city limits. However, some worry the new plan isn't protecting homeowners against big developers.
The development community has had a lot of influence over Venice City Council in recent years. I do not feel that we favor developers at all. I think we've done a very good job of staying neutral.
Residents will be able to share their opinions with the City Council at a meeting on Monday. What do big-time developers say if wetlands are in the way of their plans? They argue the wetlands are dysfunctional. That's the argument Benderson Development and the partner company are making in order to build on 13 acres of property at the Meadows in Sarasota County. Doing so would require the destruction of protected wetlands. Today, representatives of the company presented county commissioners with a mitigation plan saying the wetlands were of no use. Commissioners disagreed. The CEO of one company involved says the project would have provided residences for seniors and would have been better for the environment.
Our current wetlands, because of various development around us, is unfortunately not thriving, and we believe that the replacement that we're proposing today will provide a healthier wetlands for all of the community.
After the vote, Commissioner Nancy Dietert said if you want to expand, do it in a different location. An update now on the medical marijuana dispensary opening soon in Bradenton. The CEO of the company, Trulieve, says the business on 14th Street West should open by mid-July. Trulieve purchased the building late last year before Bradenton passed a 6-month ban on medical marijuana to allow the city to adapt to the new industry. The city recently extended the moratorium. The Ringling Brothers and Barnum Valley Circus may be no more, but one of its greatest former performers is ready for his next act. Comedic daredevil Bello Knock announcing he'll be in the incredible Bello Show this summer in Sarasota. It will be a family affair with his daughter performing by his side and his wife helping produce and direct the show. Bello says he will debut never-before-seen stunts specifically for the Suncoast.
You'll see us do some amazing tricks on the high wire. Every inch of to the apex of the Oslo Theater, and hopefully a whole bunch of humor. So I'm excited. A lot of new material was created for the show.
Can't wait. Incredible Bello will run from June 13th through the end of July at the Oslo Theater. You can find ticket information at mysuncoast.com. Click on the links that we mentioned. And still to come, is Comedy Today going too far? What you see on late night news shows may seem edgy, but comedians may have been taking shots at politicians for years. Find out what a political scientist, stand-up comic, and public relations expert have to say about the state of affairs. The story when we return.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
I dream of the creature by night and by day. Wielding my weapon, I slaughter my
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
In just the last week, comedians Bill Maher and Kathy Griffin have weathered firestorms about offensive language, and in Griffin's case, a disgusting photo of her holding the simulated severed head of President Trump. But 50 years ago, a Suncoast resident and his brother were the objects of similar attention over their satire about the Vietnam War. Satire, as Adam Cellini reports, that by today's standards was hardly offensive.
50 years ago, Tom and Dick Smothers burst onto the scene with the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour. Through a combination of music, monologues, and sketches, they had audiences rolling and millions tuning in every week.
I'm going into big-time crime. I'm going into big-time crime.
But they also made enemies for satirizing heavier topics like the war in Vietnam. So instead of a fourth season, the show was canceled in 1969.
CBS and people like that were so concerned about their advertisers, about what was wholesome back then. It was there were your mom and dad slept in separate beds on TV.
Scott Novotny started comedy 10 years after the Smothers Brothers show, watching audiences change over the decades to where now hardly anything is censored on television. But he says comics still have to earn a reputation to take on certain topics.
Religion and politics, for example, is a good thing to probably just stay away from if that's what you wanted. But if you're Dennis Miller, we walk in accepting the fact that you're going to be a political comedian.
In the same decade as the Smothers Brothers, Canadian intellect Marshall McLuhan coined the phrase, "The medium is the message." Years later, his protege, Neil Postman, would apply that to television as a medium for political discourse. Postman concluded that political philosophy on the television was impossible because the medium, with its images and sounds, distracted viewers away from the message. Now, political science professor Jack Riley says there's a new medium distorting audiences even more.
A huge part of that are the social networks we're embedding ourselves in.
The internet, according to Riley, creates echo chambers where like-minded individuals can connect and shut out those who disagree.
A lack of exposure to a diversity of opinion can lead to a demonization of the other side in some way. So we end up in a politics that's more tribal in some way.
President Trump capitalized on some of this during his campaign, and it's motivated some supporters to lash out against opposition ever since. When Stephen Colbert gave a heated monologue recently, it had many demanding his resignation from The Late Show.
You have more people marching against you than cancer. Your presidential library is going to be a kids menu and a couple of Jugs magazine.
Harsh words, but nothing new, Riley says.
I have a lot of students, for example, that want to talk a lot about how politics is more nasty than it ever was before, and I always remind them that, like, in the 1800s, we had senators beating each other with canes on the Senate floor, right? So, like, a lot of this is just, like, politics as usual.
Candace McKellia has noticed the negative material hurting comedians could actually be helping politicians. Her PR firm's theory of focusing on short, positive messages for TV has recently been turned on its head.
Nowadays, there's a lot of people that really are shooting from the hip, and people are saying whatever they want to say, and those are the messages that are getting through.
Novotny believes comedians will always be safe as long as the First Amendment is in our Constitution. He says comedy should serve as a referee between opposing sides on any polarizing issue.
Comedy has that sense of negotiation to make things a little, it's okay. We have our beliefs, we get it, let's have some fun.
It's what the Smothers Brothers tried to tap into with their show. Confident America could, if nothing else, keep its sense of humor.
You took it literally. You have to learn to read between the lines. I've read between the lines. And what do you find? Nothing.
In Sarasota, Adam Cellini, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
In a moment, the one and only Dick Smothers joins me at the Trapezoid.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
And when it came our time to serve, we knew better dead than red. But when we got to the draft board, buddy, this is what we said. Well, I'm only 18, I got a rough shit spleen, and I always carry a purse. Got eyes like a bat, and my feet all flat, and my asthma's getting worse. Oh, and I think
That's Tom and Dick Smothers with George Siegel on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour back in the late 1960s. During its time, the show consistently dealt with censorship from CBS. A playful song about dodging the draft seems innocuous now, but at the time it was anything but, and comedy has certainly changed, but we're still seeing comedians facing backlash for jokes. What would the Smothers Brothers say about the current times? Well, why don't we ask? Joining us for more is the legendary comedian, musician, and actor Dick Smothers. It is an honor to have you here.
Well, it's an honor to have anybody want me to say anything about anything.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, I've been fascinated because we see you in the building all the time because you're frequently on The View, and I watch Bill Maher, and I watch these late night comedians, and you know, you got into a lot of trouble for that little clip that we showed there, and it seems, again, so innocuous compared to what we've seen just this week.
Well, that's the way things are. The first people that do things, they're all alone. Their professional compadres would say, don't do it, it's not safe. Lenny Bruce started the modern comic by he was profane, he was intelligent, he was stating hypocrisies, racial injustice. In the 50s, he was banned from other countries. He was handcuffed. He had to make public apologies for things that young comedians do over and over again.
But, you know, you and
it's a growth, that's what I'm saying.
You and Tommy did not start that show on CBS with the intention of taking on political issues.
No, it was the growth of the 60s, a great civil unrest and change. The Vietnam War was happening. By the way, we took the show we replaced Gary Moore in '67, and the Vietnam War was building up, civil rights was building up. We came as short hairs. We were safe bets to replace the last place show on television on Sunday night. They say, put the Smothers Brothers in. They're real popular, and if they'll fail probably, and we'll replace them with something worthy. Well, the Times brought us, it politicized the Smothers Brothers. We were never really political. People thought we had a lot to say because we were a continuing, honest, genuine conversation between two brothers who were very different. Tommy was the dyslexic, and he believed this and that, and I was correcting him. But he was very sensitive to the situation.
I was watching one clip today, a skit that you had with the CBS censors, like throwing out pages and pages of what you intended to say. Compare that to, let's say, what happened with Stephen Colbert a couple weeks ago when he said, a lot about President Trump, but something that many people thought was across the line, and he apologized for.
I know, because he's a network show, isn't he?
Yes.
There's different standards. We're discussing that. There's stricter standards, all the way down to no standards to the public media and Facebook and all those things. He had to apologize. But what you're seeing in the liberal comedians up there is the anger. And that's what comedians do politically. It's the pent-up anger, and people get to laugh at very sad things. It's just why the Republicans are in office. There was so much anger that the other side we didn't know about, and they let it out by electing someone who is absolutely crazy.
And I'll point out, we're talking about the same television network, CBS, which I actually worked for CBS for 5 years, and my dad worked there for 25 years. But you know, the rules at the broadcast networks are a little bit different than what you see on the cable networks. But do you say to yourself, geez, after looking at the Colbert stuff, we got into trouble for that?
Yeah, yeah. Comedians are born to overstep. Comedians are born, I think it was mentioned in the little clips, they never are comfortable being told what they can't do. That's you don't ever do that to a comedian. He will do it, even if it hangs him. And they overstepped with the head thing. Metaphorically, maybe she meant even without a head, he's no dumber.
Right.
But it was tasteless.
All right.
Yeah.
We are just getting started. We'll have more with Dick Smothers coming up right after we check on the weather.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
If you are age 85 or younger, a final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage. Your premiums won't increase, your benefits won't decrease, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now.
Call 800-676-1339.
Our discussion of what you can't say on TV with Dick Smothers continues in a moment, but right now let's get a check on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Rain, go away, right? If you're out and about for the vacation for a week or so here, it's been a terrible week so far. Lots of rain, lots of showers, clouds, and even some severe weather earlier today. This is from Casey Key webcam. Periods of showers and thunderstorms coming ashore. Winds gusting as high as 50 to 60 miles an hour, causing some minor damage in the south end of Longboat Key today, and some lightning strikes also igniting some fires as well. The Titan radar picture showing that the heavy weather that was around earlier now well down to the south, and east of our viewing area. However, showers have been popping up in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and it's all kind of streaming in our direction. It's coming out of the west-southwest, kind of rotating around this area of low pressure right here, now moving through the panhandle of Florida. This will slowly move off to the east tomorrow, but still close enough to bring us clouds and a chance for showers occasionally throughout the day. And one or two of those showers could turn into a thunderstorm or two. It could be rather strong. Right now, brief showers moving through parts of Manatee County, not much in Sarasota at this hour. However, you'll notice that showers continue to develop here in the East Gulf of Mexico, indicating that we do have quite a bit of instability in the atmosphere. They're not all that intense. Look for a brief period of a downpour or two, and then moving on, the lightning strikes and the rough weather down near Miami and West Palm Beach, all the way down into Key West right now. Well, rainfall estimates, this is what we're looking at for the past 4 days now, or 5 days, up to 5 inches in Osprey, 4 inches on Siesta Key, 4.5 inches, plus 4.5 inches on Longboat Key, 3 inches at Lakewood Rancher nearby, and 3 inches as well at Fruitville and I-75. So a lot of rainfall in just a short period of time. Not as much as they saw down in South Florida, near the Alligator Alley near Naples. Over 15 inches of rainfall just in the past 3 days there. Well, behind it, some drier air will settle in for a little bit on Friday. Friday appears to be pretty good with some sunshine and temperatures warming up into the upper 80s and a slight chance for a few showers. Tomorrow, we still have to get through a few bouts of some rain. Dew point now at 75, the temperature at 80 degrees, pressure fairly low, 29.76 inches, and the high today was only 82. That's slightly below the average because of the clouds and rain. And nearly an inch at the Sarasota Bradenton Airport. That's what we had today. Yesterday, over 1.5 inches, and the day before that, 2 inches of rain at the airport. For boaters, winds out of the west, not as strong as it has been, so the small craft advisory has been lifted. A moderate chop in the bays and inland waters. The tides upcoming 7:39, just a few minutes for a low tide. Another low tide at 6:10. And tonight, mostly cloudy. A few passing showers. An isolated thunderstorm not out of the question. 77 for a low. Tomorrow, variable clouds, a high of 85. More rain in the offing. West winds at 10 to 15. They extend the forecast. Less of a chance on Friday. Then it comes back to a pretty good chance for some afternoon and evening storms on Saturday and Sunday. Al will be right back after this. Stick around.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $249 per month or 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota Bradenton Airport on US 41.
The official salon of ABC7. Cutting loose salon.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
Maybe we should love each other rather than kill each other.
Is he saying what I think he's saying?
Yep, that's what I want for my birthday. I want love.
Hey, hold it, kid.
I got a hold of it.
You can't do that in front of millions of people.
Why, if I was a man, I'd...
You're a smart-alecky kid. You can't do that on television, make love. That's disgusting.
Yeah, but you were going to kill me.
Hey, that's all right. That's acceptable.
That's a clip from the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour. Back in the 1960s, the Smothers Brothers were known not just for pushing the envelope about what you could do and say on TV. They also poke fun at the censors. Times have changed, but there's still pushback against comedians for certain jokes, and that's our focus tonight. And joining us for more is legendary comic, musician, and actor Dick Smothers.
By the way, we shot my brother dead. We hit him so many times it looked like a shooting of today. Because you can't make love on television, because that's...
but the underlying theme there was about the times you lived in the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And you did evoke some wrath from the president at the time, LBJ, who, and this might sound familiar for people out there, LBJ called the president of CBS, William Paley, in the middle of the night to complain about your show.
Yeah, they used to watch this. Evidently, they at least once watched it together. And he said that Lucy Bird really loved the show, and his children, we made fun of the birds, which we didn't like the writers to do. And he said, I'm trying to manage a war, and can you get them to back off? It's very similar to what's happening with Trump and James Comey. And he said he'll do what he could. So here's what happened. This is real important. He came to Tom and said, you know, you got to back off a little bit. And you don't tell a comedian not to do that. We weren't doing anything wrong. He said, I'll tell you what, you had Pete Seeger on the show.
Right.
And we cut Big Muddy. It's an anti-war song. I'll give you Big Muddy if you back off. It was like horse trading. So Tommy did this and Pete Seeger got to sing the song about following a leader into a river and drowning. That's what Vietnam was. And we didn't back off.
But comment on this. Compare the reaction of LBJ and the reaction of President Trump to, let's say, Saturday Night Live and Alec Baldwin. You know, Alec Baldwin was on a number of times this past season with his brilliant, portrayal of President Trump. And then the next morning, President Trump will go on the Twitter rant. The LBJ wrote you a note as your show was about to going off the air, and I'll read part of it. It is part of the price of leadership of this great and free nation to be the target of clever satirists. You have given the gift of laughter to our people. May we never grow so somber or so self-important that we fail to appreciate the humor in our lives. I don't know if that is 140 characters that would fit in the tweet today.
No, it wouldn't, but it wouldn't be in the mind of the present president. And Lyndon Johnson was a gentleman that way. He did a lot of good things, and he took over at a difficult time, and he had to manage a war. We were in there, and I think you could, on the outside, it's so easy to say, get out of it. We backed a thing called Another Mothers for Peace, a little thing on the station breaks between the hour, and they took that off, saying it could be communist, trying to undermine us and this and that. But the point was, LBJ understood that. And the Jane Fonda was sitting on tanks in Cambodia. The doves and the hawks were the words. The boomers out there know what I'm talking about. They lived it too.
Did you get the same kind of reaction that today's comedians got? I mean, we see it on our Facebook comments all the time. But did you get the same kind of angry letters about what you would say about the president and the impact it would have on our
But they weren't
veterans?
Twittered. They weren't. There was no social media, so they were letters. A couple hundred letters drove the network crazy. What we did get was a lot of negative response from our fellow people in the business saying, "Hey, you're stupid. Don't do that. You're going to lose your show." They were negative. You say, "You're foolish to do that," and because nobody did it and got away with it.
So where do you think the line should be now? I mean, in the last week, you saw what happened with Kathy Griffin and showing a severed head of the president, which disgusted a lot of people. And there are two thoughts. I mean, people were very angry, and it's cost her gig at CNN. And on the other hand, they say, you know what? she has a First Amendment right to do whatever she wants, like it or not.
I believe in the First Amendment, and that was a metaphor, I'm pretty sure. Chris Rock, I believe, a number of years ago said, if there's ever a first black vice president, I'm going to make sure, you know, he goes out as president. In essence, I've paraphrased that. You're not inciting someone to kill the president. But with the huge amount of violence that's going around the world, which supposedly is less violence than there used to be, but it's there. It's in front of us now with the media. The First Amendment rights should not be ever smothered, because you can't stop it. It just escalates and escalates in how much you do take off the air.
But even
turn the dial. We have 300 channels, my gosh.
Is there a responsibility of comedians to say, I am not going to go there, given the tumultuous environment that we live in this day in this country?
I don't think that, I think that the comedians going too far that way is not even close to the inflammatory people like Rush Limbaugh and people that say we're being held hostage and inciting people in a simplistic manner to say our country's in hostage and we got to take it away by violence. People think they're asking you. They're pretending to be news. We're posing to pretend to be funny. You know, if you're funny's number one, you got to be. I think the comics that just put in filth in their show and they're not funny, they're still not funny. And the people that, God, there's one of them that he was a liberal guy, he had his own show, now he's really a right-wing guy for Fox, and he's a comedian.
Dennis Miller.
Dennis Miller, he's not funny. He's not, Chris Black, was it Black? What's the guy now?
Well, let me ask you this. Well, what's your take on, you know, we talked about what happened on Bill Maher, his using the N-word last week. Al Franken, who is one of the funniest people out there from Saturday Night Live, now a U.S. Senator, he backed out of being on the show tomorrow night.
Because of that?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was ill-advised, but you see, when a comic comes out with a ad-lib remark like that, he's not thinking. And being a comic, I would think he thought of the movie that, you know, the black person who's inside and the black person who's outside. In the days of slavery, they were different, and they figured they were more superior than the ones outside. They had a better job, you know, and all that. And that's what he came from. But in the way the world is now, I don't know how to live with the political incorrectness versus being afraid to and self-censoring yourself. I think that was ill-advised. I hope he doesn't lose his show over it. I don't know what to say about that. You know, I'm afraid that I might misspeak anywhere, anytime.
Well, we have a delay on this show, so that's okay.
Oh, no, but it's, you know, actually I'm a straight man, and if Tommy and I were here today, I think the guys are too quick. They're too, well, they're writers. Tommy and I were improv. In improv, you can't create that much of sharp material. Samantha Bee, I think, is fabulous. John Oliver, he is last week, this week. Gosh, he's so he's screaming all these things, and they're outrageously funny and rude. But they're coming from their belief. They are based on what's going on today. And if we shut that door, turn it down, we're going to lose way more.
All right, let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have final thoughts from Dick Smothers, plus what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, a housing-first approach to homelessness.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-990-3613. That's 1-800-990-3613. Call now, 1-800-990-3613.
I dream of the creature by night and by day. Wielding my weapon, I slaughter my prey. 2,000 cash, I'll be rolling in
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Welcome back. Things have certainly changed since the 60s and the days of the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour. Comedians have more freedom about what they can say on the air, but that doesn't mean they still are not held accountable. So where should we draw the line? Should there even be a line? Dick Smothers joins us now for final thoughts, and we were talking about that. You know, and you brought up the fact that, look, it doesn't seem like Rush Limbaugh has any line, or some of those other folks on the other side.
That's really fake news. Rush Limbaugh, those things.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so are you concerned in this tumultuous environment that it's getting so heated out there, and there are so many people who are worried about really, you know, how polarized this country has become? What we fail to remember is in the 1960s when you and Tommy were doing this, we were pretty polarized then.
Yeah, we were. Because it was the unfairness of the draft. You know, I was for people registering at the post office, but if they didn't want to go, they shouldn't have to go. Today, the question of where is the line? Remember the Supreme Court? I don't know. I can't define pornography, but I know it when I see it. That was a Supreme Court judge or something that said that. I don't know, is there such a thing as a line? That line is movable. What is a lie? A lie is intent. When is creative storytelling or a lie? To me, a lie is to get your way, to omit the truth and have someone bend someone's mind or make up their mind based on false evidence appearing real. And that, I think, is hard to tell today, because things are like the bloggers or the Russian interference or Bulgarian interference, whatever. It all looks right. What am I to believe? So all it does is they point that to people they want to get to make a decision. I'm worried about, can we make valid decisions to run our country the way it was conceived to be chosen? The facts, campaign, vote without that outside influence. I don't know how we know that's true, but all I know is no matter what happens with Trump, early on he said, if I shot someone in Times Square, my people would still. That's paraphrasing what he said. So once your mind's made up, almost all of this stuff doesn't matter. His base is not deserting him.
And we'll have to leave it there. It's been an honor to have you here tonight.
It's an honor to be in this country. Boy, what exciting times.
You could say that.
Hi.
Before we go, we want to share with you what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, Housing First. After years of debate on how to tackle the issue of homelessness, Sarasota City and county governments are now collaborating on a Housing First approach. The idea is to treat housing as a right and not a reward by putting a roof over a person's head and then follow up with services. Here is what some of you are saying. Marjorie Sykes writes, finally, this is a good step. Patrick McCarthy writes, they are for the most part vagrants. They have taken over our parks. They roam our streets at night. They commit crimes, and yes, most of them are druggies. Sarasota has buried its head in the sand for so long the situation is out of control. And Shannon Broadnax writes, sickening to see the word they used with such a derogatory tone. Hot topic here, lots of gut reaction, not much thought on the humanitarian side of this topic. Who are we to assume why someone is in the street? What do you think about censorship and backlash to comedians? Where do you draw the line? Join the conversation by visiting our Facebook page at facebook.com/news7. And FYI, you can watch past roundtable discussions. They're on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Thanks to our guests for being here tonight. Dick Smothers is a legendary comedian and musician and actor. If you have never seen the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour before, Do yourself a favor and check it out. And when we return, we'll have a final look at your weather, plus a change in plans. Governor Rick Scott is adding medical marijuana to the special session agenda. Find out why legislators are hopeful about reaching a deal on regulations. The details in our prime time headlines.
Save big during the summer leather clearance and pay no interest till June 2018 with same-day pickup or next-day delivery. This special purchase deep-seating leather match sofa now $5.99. It's like floating on a cloud with this leather match sofa at $6.99. Or put your feet up in style with comfort in this dual reclining leather match sofa only $7.99. Exclusively at the Furniture Warehouse in Sarasota, Bradenton, Venice, Port Charlotte, and Ellenton.
Save big. Attention, this is an important message for anyone who has taken Xarelto or Pradaxa. If you or a loved one took the blood thinner medication Xarelto or Pradaxa and was then hospitalized for internal bleeding, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious, even fatal internal bleeding. If you suffered a stroke, heart attack, or serious internal bleeding, or if a loved one died after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call us now. Our network of attorneys have years of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Potential claims are being reviewed for users of Xarelto or Pradaxa who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone.
Please call 800-928-6604. That is 800-928-6604.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. We're looking at a live shot right there. A little sun breaking through, some showers off in the distance. This is a sign of things to come. A little bit more sunshine on Thursday, but still we're not out of the woods with showers and some heavy thunderstorms possible here along the Sun Coast due to an area of low pressure which continues to spin near us and across the state tomorrow. Boy, it's a pretty looking shot there from our tower cam looking out over Sarasota Bay. Here's what's happening now on the satellite imagery. You can see skies are clearing a little bit. That very intense storminess that we had earlier now is shifted to the south and east. And then behind it, some slightly drier air. Now, showers and storms will continue to work their way around this area of low pressure, which will sink southeastward through the overnight tonight. Be close enough to us tomorrow to initiate showers and storms, some of which could be strong. And right now, that rainfall is scattered about, not much. It's calmed down considerably here across most of the area, although Longboat Key, get ready for some moderate to heavy showers moving in. Get a look at the Keach-Byram Index. You know, these numbers were up near 700. Just about 2 weeks ago. Look at all the blue here. That means we are in good shape as far as that fire danger goes across the area. And now that we're entering into our rainy pattern too in about a week or so, it should be clear sailing as far as the high fire danger goes. Already starting to see some of the effects of that with Manatee County releasing their no burn ban. As far as the thunderstorm outlook goes, severity, there is a chance, a marginal chance of getting some severe storms tomorrow as a result of that area of low pressure, and the tornado probability small at 2%. We saw 50, 60, 70 mile-an-hour winds today with some of the cells that moved through around 10:30, and damaging winds a possibility at 5%. So that's still small, but that's what we had today too. Now, the low pressure area will continue to work its way down to the south and east. Currently, we have a few clouds around. It's 80 degrees, and the dew point temperature is at 75. Pressure 29.76 inches. The high today, 82, and the rainfall amount at the Sarasota Bradenton Airport well above average for the month. We're plus 3.75 inches above average, and only about 1.5 inches below average for the entire year now. We've made it up quick. Winds out of the west, 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be 2 to 4 feet, and a moderate chop out there. Sunset will be at 8:24. Sunrise at 6:35. The extended forecast does call for better weather on Friday. And then showers and storms are back with us again on Saturday and Sunday. High temperatures a little bit warmer due to a little bit more sunshine over the weekend. Al will be back with prime time headlines right after this.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-962-4112. That's 1-800-962-4112. Call now, 1-800-962-4112. For a free brochure, call 1-800-962-4112.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here. Because
Why, you don't like my hair? The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
Now for your primetime headlines. The Russia investigation is once again taking center stage in Washington as top intelligence officials face questions from lawmakers. It comes just one day before fired FBI Director James Comey is expected to testify. ABC's Stephanie Ramos is following the latest.
The day before fired FBI Director James Comey testifies before the Senate Intelligence Committee, his opening remarks are released. In the explosive statement, Comey talks about his conversations with President Trump, about former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn and his communications with Russia. According to Comey, the president tells him, "I hope you can see your way to letting this go, to letting Flynn go." Comey recounts the January 27th dinner he had with the president, who he says told him, "I need loyalty. I expect loyalty." The FBI director says he tried to explain the importance of the Department of Justice independence from the White House.
And given the recent news about ongoing investigations.
On Capitol Hill today, the same committee had tough questions for the nation's top intelligence officials, all of them refusing to say whether or not President Trump had asked them to intervene in Comey's Russia investigation.
I have never been directed to do anything I believe to be illegal, immoral, unethical, or inappropriate.
Their responses frustrating both Republican and Democratic senators.
Let me ask you specifically, did the president, the reports that are out there, ask you in any way, shape, or form to back off or downplay the Russia investigation?
I'm not going to discuss the specifics of conversations with the President of the United States, but I stand by the comment I just made to you, sir.
The Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coats, echoed the same.
I don't believe it's appropriate for me to address that in a public session.
In James Comey's prepared testimony, he also details the 3 times he told President Trump he was not the subject of an open counterintelligence case, meaning he was not personally under investigation at that time. In Washington, Stephanie Ramos, ABC News.
President Trump is nominating a new FBI director by tweet. You know, it was just the other day White House aides were saying the president's tweets were not official statements. But this morning, Trump tweeting, quote, "I will be nominating Christopher A. Wray, a man of impeccable credentials, to be the new director of the FBI. Details to follow." Wray served as an assistant attorney general under President George W. Bush. If confirmed by the Senate, he would replace James Comey, who Trump fired last month. New developments in the trial of comedian Bill Cosby. Yesterday, Andrea Constand took the stand to recount the details of the night she claims Cosby drugged and sexually assaulted her. Today, the defense is focusing on inconsistencies in her story and questioning why she made more than 50 calls to Cosby after the alleged assault. Constand claims the contact was purely professional. Constand is one of more than 50 women accusing Cosby of sexual misconduct. Cosby is denying all accusations. Florida lawmakers are starting a 3-day special session today, in part to boost funding for public schools. Legislators are debating whether or not to use increased local property tax money to help fund education. The Senate began the session by overriding Governor Rick Scott's veto of the public schools financing program. The Senate Appropriations Chairman says it is a preemptive measure to make sure schools are funded should the legislature fail to reach an agreement this week.
We want to make sure that we have every confidence that if we get into some kind of controversy and we don't finish the rest of our business, or one body or the other doesn't like the outcome of the rest of our business and decides to go home, that we have this done.
Under the state's Senate's formula, more than half of the increase for school funding would come from property taxes. The House opposes any tax increase. Governor Scott is also adding medical marijuana to the session agenda. Lawmakers are under intense pressure to create regulations after failing to agree on a number of dispensaries and growers during the regular session. The state senator sponsoring medical marijuana legislation says they will fulfill the will of voters.
There's minor disagreements. We've made great progress, and now we have a framework to deliver implementation of Amendment 2.
Without legislative action, the Florida Department of Health would be in charge of medical marijuana regulations. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.